to my channel. Hey yo, listen up, yeah. Hey yo, the wireless woman.
You in charge of the girls, right?
I am in charge of the girls.
Are you in charge of the girls?
I am in charge of the girls.
Okay.
All right. Hey, yo. Welcome back, Wi-Fi's, to yet another underground transmission of the Wireless Woman. Go ahead and do me that big favor on your way in and like this video. Why? Because when you like it, well, I love it. And if you haven't already, what is you doing, baby? But go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And click the bell for notifications of when I go live and when I upload new content. So today we are going to be talking about love languages. This video is in my online dating series just because where else would I put it? But I have been running across a phenomenon, and so I wanted to discuss it. I have been meeting tons and tons, lots of men. Yeah, and don't look too deep into that. Don't judge that because a meeting is just what it sounds like. It's an exchange of ideas. It's being in the same place at the same time, exchanging ideas. So don't think when I say meeting, I mean meeting in my bedroom. Because, told you dating season is not mating season. But I don't think I've met a man yet who hasn't said that his love language is physical touch. So there are some people who are substituting physical touch for love. When you say that physical touch is your love language, that is what it means. It is the way in which I show love or the way in which I interpret someone else's love for me. And I think it's very sad, but it's also very indicative of an issue that we're having in our dating culture right now. Because since I've been married twice, I'm also meeting a lot of men who have never been married, ever, never been engaged, ever. Up in their late 40s, never been married, never been engaged, ever, never lived with a woman, just highly undomesticated, unsocialized male persons. But there are several different love languages. We know there is quality time, there are words of affirmation, physical touch, quality time, and gifts. Those are the main 5. And pretty much all ways of showing or receiving love are derivatives of one of these 5 languages of love. There is complexity to it, especially if you have studied love languages in an attempt to understand them, to become a great lover of other people, or even just to know yourself, what you need to show up in the best ways in relationships. It's very important to not just take, a 15-question survey and think that you know and understand what love languages are. And don't just take a love language quiz with the purpose of finding out what you like. The purpose of love languages, even to identify it, is how you show up in relationships and how people are able to bring out the best in you through a relationship. If you don't even want a relationship, you don't have a love language. Yeah. But I will say that for me, I learned through the study of love languages that I speak and understand 2 totally different love languages. So the love language I speak, the one that I use to translate love to other people, actually is physical touch. I am a person who is a giver of physical touch, and I feel most fulfilled. I feel the most like I've communicated love to people through physical touch. My coworkers will tell you And I have to be careful about it because I don't want nobody to put like a sexual harassment case on me. But if I see them really down or going through something, I'll just hit this pressure point right here. I'll just put my hand on their shoulder, push a thumb right into that, spot there, and I could just see them be like, you know what? I just needed that. I had one coworker, she used to come and find me. She'd be like, "It's right here." I'm like, "Nah, it don't work like that now. It's you're gonna have to pay me." She's like, "I will." But I'm very good at touching people, and I'll be talking to someone if they're confiding something in me. I might put my hand on top of their hand. It's a very delicate thing. It's a very intimate thing and a very vulnerable thing that I do to let people know that they're being heard, they're being understood, and that they're being felt. Not just physically, but also emotionally. So I am very eloquent at speaking physical touch. But the love language that I receive, that I understand the best, is words of affirmation. And it's tough when you're a words of affirmation person because we're highly open to manipulation. People that say things they don't mean. But these words mean a lot to us, and we interpret people's feelings through the words they use, through tone, body language, intonation. These things really resonate with words of affirmation people. So you might say something like, "I love you," but they're like, "Well, why'd you say it like that?" Words, word formation, diction, syntax, the words you choose. Why would you choose that word? If you are not a person who is linguistically gifted, you will find a lot of frustration being in love with a person who needs words of affirmation. If you find out that your partner is a person whose major love language, because all of us, receive and accept and appreciate love in any of these forms. All of us love quality time with the person that we love. It's just that quality time may not necessarily be the thing that makes you feel loved by that person. Um, so you have to be careful to understand these things, but to some degree, all we'll see all of these love languages manifest in our relationship, and a great lover will be proficient in all of them. But if you find yourself in love with a person who's a words of affirmation person like me, arguments will be very challenging because anything you say can and will be held against you. Not in a bad way, but these are the people who will also remember things you said. I remember when you said that your grandma liked these. So, since we're going to meet your grandma today, I'm going to bring these. So it can be a really, really good thing to have a person who's actually listening to you, who hears you. But I will say, I had to find out that I actually am not really good at speaking words of affirmation. I mean, I love getting gassed up. I love people telling me that. But as soon as somebody's like, "Yeah," I'm like, "Well, you're a very great soul and you have good teeth." Like, I am so awkward when I have to compliment people, which is why I try to give people who struggle with giving me words of affirmation grace, because it is very complicated. When I meet men who are good at words of affirmation, I just love it because it's very rare to find men who are high level sophisticated communicators of their feelings in that way. So to me, that's very special. But I wanted to zero in this conversation about these physical touch males, because the thing about physical touch as a means of a love language is that they communicate the way they love you or the way that they receive love through physical touch. If someone's telling you that their love language is physical touch, but they have sex with people they don't love, they either don't know or they don't care. Like boys in the hood, either they don't know, don't show, or they don't care.
Either they don't know, don't show, I don't care about what's going on in the hood.
It's literally almost physically impossible for a person whose love language that is actually physical touch to physically touch you when they're not feeling connected to you, when they're not feeling loved by you, when they are not uh when there's an emotional rift, because this person attaches love to their physical being, their physical body. They don't want to be touched by you if they're offended. Snoop Dogg taught us that. He said there ain't no loving good enough to give her while I'm offended.
Chill for a minute, cause ain't no loving good enough to get burned while I'm offended. Yeah.
So some of these men are actually just sexually incontinent and showing up believing that physical touch, intimacy, and sex substitutes love. And I need you to understand they're going to treat you that way. They're going to treat you that way. These are men that don't have the ability to love in any other way. So you're not going to get gifts. You're not going to get quality time out of these people. You're not even really getting love out of them through physical touch because they haven't actually attached the two. Physical touch people are people who, when you're going through things, they're going to step into you. They're wanting you to feel physically comfortable around them. They're also the type of people that if there is a rift in the relationship, they're going to be like, "Hey, we got to get this right. We got to get this together," because they know they don't want to physically be around you if they're not emotionally connected with you in a way that allows them to be able to express love to you through touch. Because physical touch as a love language requires them to have an emotional component, an emotional reason for why they touch you. A lot of these men don't actually have a physical touch love language, and they're so ignorant. I don't mean it in a bad way. I just mean unlearned. Um, they are so unlearned in the ways of love languages that they don't actually even know that. The love language that these men actually ascribe to is acts of service. They believe physical touch to be an act of service. They want you to have sex with them whether you want to or not, whether you love them or not, whether they love you or not, whether y'all are connected or not. They just want sex. And they want sex as a means of earning love. It's a service that you perform. You know, if y'all done fell out, y'all been arguing, they've been sleeping on the couch for 5 days, they still want you to walk through that door and give them sex as if it was you cooking a meal for them, as if it was you, cutting their toenails for them, as if it was you giving them a back massage, as if it were you bringing their mail in from the mailbox, as if it were you picking up their laundry from the dry cleaners, as if it were you typing up a email for them. It's just an act of service. And you have to be careful as women out here in this dating world to ask the right questions so you actually know who and what you're dealing with. Because I'm going to tell you something, a physical touch, love language male is very rare. It's very rare. In all of my dating career and all of my love life, I've had two. And one, he was that way. Maybe if he was upset, don't touch me. Don't touch me. And it can be very rejecting as a woman to have a true physical touch male because baby you cannot sex him out of feeling a certain way about you. You can't. Once the love is gone, he won't touch you, and you better not touch him. He gonna make sure you know. He gonna put distance between you and him. He gonna sleep with his back to you. You ain't gonna be able to romance him. No. Nope. You ain't gonna be able to finesse him. None of that. When he touches you, it means something to him. It means something deep to him. To lay down with you, to give his strength to you. You know, a man's body is his strength. You'll hear fighters and boxers say that they don't sex a woman before a fight because their legs get weak or something. I don't know. I'm not a man. I don't know. But what I do know about it is a true physical touch male loves you when he's touching you. You will know that. Baby, if he can touch you and her and her and her and her, he has not attached anything that can remotely be confused for love to physical touch. And you just need to know that. Listen, I would love to hear your thoughts, feelings about it in the comments. But if you see what I see and you feel as I feel,
But if you see what I see, if you feel as I feel, and if you would seek as I seek,
then go ahead and drop that fire headphones emoji in the comments. I look forward to engaging with y'all there. But until the next transmission, you already know that drill. I will see y'all in them comments. You can go ahead and clock out for me.
Yeah, Barbara, it's Richie. Yeah, look it, I ain't never coming home no more. Take it easy.